What is up, ladies and gentlemen? It's your boy, James Eeks, and today I'm back with my second ever regionals wrap-up today on Dallas regionals that happened this last weekend. Dallas was the biggest regional in terms of attendance of all time, but I gotta say, it was also the most stacked regional of all time. We had players such as Wolf Glick, Aaron Zhang, Alberto Lara, Paul Ruiz, Colin Heyer, Paul Chua, the list goes on. This had some of America's best and honestly some of the world's best even came out for this. So this was a super exciting regional filled with a great amount of talent. So I'm super excited to share with you guys all the information I have about it. And guys, these regional wrap-ups are the perfect place to catch up or learn about what's going on in the meta and what's happening in the VGC scene. So I hope you guys look forward to my next wrap-ups too. Before we get started, I just want to let you guys know that I do stream full-time on Twitch. I stream VGC content 5 days a week, every day except for Wednesday and Saturday. So I would really appreciate it if you guys went and checked me out over there. You guys can hang out with me, talk with me, all that good stuff. So I would love that, and that would mean the world to me. So let's get started. So guys, let's start by giving a shout out to Aaron Trailer, who ended up winning the whole tournament. Honestly, an insane accomplishment to win such an amazing tournament, but Aaron Trailer is an amazing player, so this isn't something super hard to believe. He was using a team of Charizard, Whimsicott, Jellicent, Conkeldurr, Togekiss, and Duraludon. He actually made a team report, a written team report that I will include in the description, and he made this team with Wolf Glick and Justin Karras, two other amazing players. And Wolf actually has a video guide about his team, so I will include that in the description as well for you guys to check out. Aaron goes into depth about his team building process in his article, so I'm not going to try and put too many words. But let's get started and analyzing things a little. The first thing I want to take note of with Aaron's team is the core of Whimsicott and Duraludon. Whimsicott and Duraludon has picked up a lot of steam as a very popular core and lead, and for good reason. It actually completes the fantasy core, people like to call it, of a fairy type, a steel type, and a dragon type in just 2 Pokemon, so its offensive presence is really high. It is a very strong neutral speed tier lead, with Duraludon having a base speed of 85, Whimsicott having that base speed of 116, makes them both really fast, not only before Tailwind is set up, but then even faster after Tailwind is set up. And then Fake Tears on Whimsicott combined with Duraludon's Life Orb was just a complete force to be reckoned with. With proper reads, they could just take out teams in just a few turns of Duraludon's Dynamax. So Duraludon Whimsicott is not anything that's going to be slowing down anytime soon. Whimsicott Duraludon also really scares off opposing Trick Room teams with the thought of Whimsicott having Taunt and Duraludon having Dragon Tail. The combination of both of those makes it very, very difficult for opposing Trick Room teams to set up Trick Room. And Aaron also had a Jellicent, which sometimes runs Imprison Trick Room as well. So the mind game against Trick Room teams with this team in particular was very strong in Aaron's favor. Another thing that probably caught a lot of people off guard was this was not your basic Whimsicott Sunny Day and Solar Power Charizard combination. Nope, this was Gigantamax Charizard. So I gotta say, the real pair of this team was Togekiss and Charizard. You can see that Aaron led Togekiss Charizard in many of his games for good reason. This is a very heavy support Togekiss, being Babiri Berry. Charizard was unable to be downed turn 1 by anything before setting up the Gigantamax Wildfire due to its Charty Berry and Togekiss's Follow Me support. D-Max Wildfire doing an insane 1/6 of the enemy Pokemon's max health, barring they're not a fire type every turn, rips through bulky teams, and it really puts a timer on the opposing team, obviously in Aaron's favor. Charizard is also able to abuse the best max move in the game, Max Airstream. So this combination of, even though there were 2 flying types, was absolutely brutal. They also decided to run Blast Burn as their only fire move on their G-Max Charizard, which made it an insane base 150 G-Max Wildfire. When undynamaxed after setting up the Wildfire, 1 Blast Burn could be just what the team needs to finish off and close off those big KOs, so it's not as weird as it might look on paper. I think after this tournament, Charizard is going to garner the respect it deserves for sure. While G-Max Charizard is absolutely amazing, I've got to say, I think the secret star of Aaron's team, and personally my call for the whole tournament, is Jellicent. Jellicent has surprisingly insane stab attacks, being Water and Ghost. Water and Ghost is really hard to resist in the current meta right now, and if you just ignore Jellicent, it's going to be pumping out huge water spouts against your team, so you can't just ignore it. It also has strength sap to pair with that water spout, so it can get its health back up, weaken you down, boosting its water spout base power back up, and then continue to fire those off. So Jellicent can be really scary. It puts an insane pressure offensively on most popular Trick Room mons, such as Rhyperior, Torkoal, Gothitelle, Indeedee, Snorlax, you name it. Jellicent is good against all of these Pokemon, so Jellicent is an amazing, amazing Pokemon. Jellicent also threatens Trick Room teams by just having the ability to reverse the Trick Room, even if you don't have Imprison. Having the combination of Jellicent and Duraludon is really frightening for opposing Trick Room teams because you never know if it is Imprisoned Trick Room or Dragon Tail Duraludon. All in all, this was an awesome team made by amazing players, Wolf proving yet again that he knows how to make great meta calls. No shock that it won the tournament, but Charizard's gonna have a target on its back now, I gotta say. It was the perfect, underrated Pokemon to whip out for this tournament, but Charizard will not be overlooked anymore, I promise you that. Another awesome team we've got to highlight here is Bingji Wang's second place Durant team. Bingji is a relatively new player, but he's been absolutely popping off, so I'm excited to see him doing so well, and I can't wait to see how he does at Worlds this year. Bingji used a team of Durant, Whimsicott, Chandelure, Conkeldurr, Togekiss, and Milotic. Of course, Durant is going to be our main point of focus here. The reason why Durant is so good and even usable in the first place is its ability Hustle, how it works with Dynamax mechanics. Hustle is usually the equivalent of a Choice Band, but your moves are only 80% as accurate as they normally are, but Dynamax moves cannot miss, so you get the Choice Band boost, but can't miss your Dynamax move. So that's why Durant is so strong. Players are definitely aiming to abuse the Dynamax Hustle combo with Durant, so you usually only have those 3 turns to feel really secure in the game. Because after that, when Durant is no longer Dynamax, you're going to just be praying to hit those moves. So you really need to take advantage of your Dynamax turns with this kind of team. Bingji did not run Protect on his Durant. He wanted the utmost coverage and increased possibility of getting as many KOs as possible by running 4 attacks during his Dynamax time. Durant's weakness of being extremely frail on the special side is still prevalent in its Dynamax form. And if the game isn't over by the time your Dynamax is over, once again, you're going to be praying to hit those moves. So it's a high risk, high reward kind of team. Bingji having Tailwind support in Whimsicott, Redirection in Togekiss, Competitive in Milotic, and Imprisoned Trick Room on Chandelure were amazing partners to enable Durant to the fullest. So Bingji built an amazing team and Durant really popped off. Another interesting piece of data that we're going to go over here is that there were 2 Rhyperior Bronzong combos right behind these two in 3rd and 4th place. The only 2 Conkeldurrs in cut outplaced and beat both Rhyperior players, so maybe that's showing that Conkeldurr does have a really good matchup against Rhyperior. Rhyperior does not require a hard Trick Room team to function as well, looking at this data. Bronzong seems to be the preferred partner of non-hard Trick Room Rhyperior. It underspeeds it, it's able to proc its weakness policy, while also being able to put more pressure on the field with Hypnosis than, say, a Dusclops. Andrew Burley was actually able to potentially bypass any Rhyperior speed ties with the use of Speed Swap on his Bronzong. He can make his quick Pokemon even slower under Trick Room. He can neuter opposing Pokemon's speed outside of Trick Room by making them as slow as Bronzong and speeding up Bronzong. So Speed Swap was a super cool tech by Andrew, and I'm sure it made his mirror match against opposing Rhyperiors that much easier. On a quick note of amazing VGC history, 3-time regional champion Alberto Lara finished in the top 16 of this insanely stacked tournament with no Dynamax candy on any of his Pokemon except for Rotom Wash. So this was an insane run, cementing Alberto honestly as one of the best American players, I gotta say. This tournament featured many cool Pokemon have strong performances. Reuniclus was on Alberto Lara's top 16 team. Glaceon and Haxorus were on Vichy Vasudevin's team in top 16. And then there was actually another Durant in top 16 on Keegan Meyer's team. There's still so much more room for creativity left in this format, so I'm really excited to see what players are going to be breaking out in the next couple months. Early meta tournaments are always such a thrill, so I cannot wait for Collinsville and Malmo. So guys, let's hop into the usage statistics of Dallas and do a little compare and contrast exercise with Bakum. The stats are actually quite similar, but there are a few standout points that I'd love to elaborate on more. While we won't touch on it for too long, I did want to point out that Togekiss is still at the top by an insane margin this time around. 65% of teams had a Togekiss on it in the top 128 at Dallas. That's like rivaling Incineroar usage stats in Ultra Series, so pretty insane. And this was actually a 10% increase in usage from Bakum to Dallas, so Togekiss is not going anywhere anytime soon. Dragapult usage did go down a tad bit like I was predicting in my previous wrap up, but it's such a small drop that it can't really be conclusive, just something to watch out for. Jellicent usage increased almost threefold up to 16.4%, up from 6.25%. For the reasons I stated above in my analysis of Aaron's team, I think Jellicent is an amazing Pokemon right now. I see Jellicent usage at least staying at this level or going up even more in the future. Conkeldurr almost doubled in usage between Bakum and Dallas actually. It went from 7.8% at Bakum to 13.3% here at Dallas. Conkeldurr does very well against Snorlax, Rhyperior, Duraludon, Excadrill, and Tyranitar. That was a huge list of popular Pokemon, so it's safe to see why Conkeldurr is such a big inclusion on a lot of these teams. Ladies and gentlemen, I gotta say, Vanillix was being hyped up as a sleeper pick for a while before Dallas, but it actually saw a lot less success at Dallas than it did at Bakum, with only one Vanillix sliding into the top 32 at Dallas. Vanillix is a very strong mon with the use of Freeze Dry, Aurora Veil, and its own weather control, but it does have a few issues. It makes synergies with common Focus Sash mons on your own team like Whimsicott and Excadrill more difficult. It's slightly lower than it would like to be with a base speed of 79. And obviously being just a plain ice type, its defensive typing is really poor. I think Vanillix has room to grow, but it looks like it was struggling in the Texas heat to prove its value. Lastly, I'd like to point out the huge difference in growth between Dallas and Bakum of Butterfree and Hydreigon. Only one of each of these Pokemon was in the top 64 at Bakum, but there were actually 9 used in the top 128 of Dallas. So that went from a 1.5% usage stat on teams at Bakum being on 7% of the teams at Dallas, which is a huge increase. I think these are two strong Pokemon that are able to check many popular Pokemon and strategies such as Trick Room. So I'm not surprised to see their growth between these two tourneys at all. While I did touch on it before, I gotta say, I think the call for Dallas was Jellicent. Aaron stated in his article that while Jellicent was a late addition to the team, it felt like it was the most important member of the team. It gives a multitude of teams a huge headache, not only in team preview, but in the game as well, with its extremely positive matchup against opposing Trick Room strategies, allowing the other 5 members of the team to deal with normal teams a lot more effectively. So let's get into my prediction of what we're going to see in the future here. The future of the meta is still very unclear. You know, if I could predict everything perfectly, I would be doing really good at these regionals, so this is just a little bit of conjecture. I think Hydreigon is going to do really well at future events. After you can get rid of opposing Togekiss and Dragapult, Hydreigon is able to wall many common Pokemon's current movesets, and it's able to break holes through teams not equipped to take strong special attacks in this very physically oriented meta. If teams can find a very solid way around Togekiss and Dragapult, which is a hard sell, I really do think Hydreigon can break out and spread its weird, dorky wings in 2020. Well, that is going to do it from me, guys, for the Dallas Regionals wrap-up. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. I love making these videos, and I think it's something that we can all really enjoy here in the VGC community, so I'm super psyched. If you guys would check out my Twitch, it would mean the world to me. I stream 5 days a week over there, every single day except for Saturday and Wednesday, so come hang out with your boy. And leave a like and comment on this video, guys. It really would mean the world to me. I'm checking every comment, and I'm working really hard on this stuff, so every little thing means the world. But guys, until next time with the next regionals wrap up, I will see you guys all later. Peace.